This is the DJI Avata in 2025. Before you ask, why does my Avata look a little bit different? Well, it is after some modifications, but in today's video I will talk about the Avata as it was originally and without the modifications, how good it is compared to the competition in 2025. So let's just pretend this is a stock DJI Avata. If you are interested in the modifications, I'll have a separate video in the top right corner of the screen for that. So the DJI Avata now has different competition. Not only it has to compete with the DJI FPV that it was before it, but also the Avata 2, and we also have the DJI Neo. But how good is it, and is it still worth getting if you have the chance? So the DJI Avata can shoot in up to 4K 60 frames per second in the D-Cine-alike in 10-bit. In my opinion, it's really nice footage for color grading, and you can use it easily for social media. I personally always have been using it without any external cameras, just the camera on top of it, but I did add the ND filters for it so that I can choose my shutter speed the way I want it to. Thanks to this, I can get that cinematic motion blur, and because of it, it looks like I'm flying faster and overall a little bit more cinematic, a little bit more professional. Everything is a little bit blurred out on the sides of the view. But I know some people actually put an action camera on top of it, and while this is the thing I would do on the DJI FPV for sure, I have not been doing that on the DJI Avata. If you are to compare the DJI Avata 1 with the DJI FPV, I feel like it is a little bit of a different drone. We have the prop guard so that it's a little bit safer, it's smaller and lighter, and it's much faster to set up. Where the DJI FPV is more like a workhorse of a drone, which I love for those situations where the winds are a little bit stronger and I need something that is really powerful, but is much heavier and more intensive in terms of setup. And also, the camera isn't as good, so you have to have an external camera on top of it. If you want to know more about the DJI FPV, check out the video in the top right corner of the screen right now. But now we also have the competition in terms of DJI Avata 2. And in my case, I was a little bit let down in the way they made the DJI Avata 2. I felt like it wasn't a proper upgrade to the DJI Avata 1, rather it was like an improvement on the parts that weren't as good on the Avata 1. And they made it more compatible, more quiet, with a little bit better sensor and a little bit better color grading possibilities, but it's not something that I would sell my DJI Avata 1 for the DJI Avata 2. And worst of all yet, in Poland, in Europe especially, you were not able to fly as fast as with the Avata 1, and there was no way to take that off. But the top speed is still the same as the DJI Avata 1, making it more of a slight change and upgrade and not a full-blown next-gen drone, as something like comparing DJI FPV and DJI Avata 1. So if you already had the DJI Avata 1, there wasn't a lot of incentive to really get that Avata 2 unless you really needed a little bit more of a quiet drone and with C1 certification. But other than that, the DJI Avata 1 was holding its own properly. The only caveat I would say for the DJI Avata 1 that I had throughout the years of using it in the stock configuration would be that the propeller guards kind of made it tumble a lot of times, and compared to the FPV, which was much stronger and would just push through, this had situations where it would just fall down without any real inputs. This is not a situation that you want to be in, and with the DJI Avata 1, it was something that was pretty known, especially at the beginning, and it was a pretty, something that everybody in the FPV community was talking about. The infamous tumble, the flips of the DJI Avata 1. But you see, the Avata 2 didn't really fix that issue too, so it's not something that is only for the Avata 1. But it is a little bit of an issue because of the guards. So it's dependent on what style of videos you want to shoot. If you want this stronger drone, you want something that can really push even in a high wind situation, the Avata 1 isn't the best drone for that. I feel like a custom built FPV or the DJI FPV would be a better choice than this. But if you are looking for something you can use indoors because of the prop guards, maybe a little bit more closer to subjects, objects and people, and also just being smaller, then the Avata is incredible. And it's pretty good for learning manual controls on an FPV drone. And with it being a DJI drone, you still have all the ease of use of the DJI drones. Essentially, you have the smart batteries, which are much easier and better to store than a traditional FPV batteries. Just makes it much easier, safer to use. And also the use case scenario is much better because you can actually move the camera around while flying. With normally, I started in the normal mode, so I'm not really playing it with manual, and when I'm up in the air and I feel that I'm in good position, I'll turn into manual mode and the camera will go into that set position. Thanks to this, at any moment if you're feeling unsure, you can just hit the stop button and it will hover in the air like a traditional DJI drone. That makes the DJI Avata incredible for that kind of situation where maybe in a traditional FPV drone you might fall down, hit something, or just make a mistake. With the Avata you can just stop the flight and it's gonna be all good. It's gonna sit in the sky waiting for your next input. I do wish it was a little bit stronger, and it is pretty loud for a drone of this size. It's really high screeching noise. Maybe it's not loud in terms of like a missile like the FPV, but more like a screeching noise. But if you can live with that, it's an incredible drone, really easy to use, lightweight, it's really easy to have with you at any time. And the reason I got the Avata in the first place, I was a little bit tired of getting the DJI FPV with me on my adventures, getting all the setup with it, all the propellers, the extra cameras, everything in it, and just having it on my hike. Just not convenient, and I wanted to have something that is a little bit, even if it's not as strong, something that is going to be a little bit more easy to use and fast to set up. And I use it with the DJI controller that I have from the DJI FPV and the goggles that I have from the DJI FPV 2. I was thinking about the upgrade to the smaller goggles, but I didn't really feel them to be too good. I just felt like my vision wasn't as good, and that could be my personal problem, but I've seen a lot of posts that the goggles V2, the original ones from the FPV, are a little bit better for many face shapes. So for my face and my bones, it just feels better. I can see a little bit better in them, even though the picture isn't as sharp and is not an OLED panel. I just feel like I see better in these goggles compared to the newer, smaller ones. One more benefit over the FPV for me, for the Avata 1, has been the batteries. They're lasting much longer than the FPV, especially when you add in the camera on top of it, so it just makes it a little bit better. I have 3 batteries, I have much more flight time, and it's easier to have with me because it's smaller and lighter, so it's easy to have with you at all times on your adventures. Well, the DJI Avata 2 isn't anything that I would say is a huge improvement over the Avata 1, especially if you already have one or can get it for a much discounted price. But then you might ask, why did I have these different modifications? What is going on with this Avata? This is an Axis flying mod for the Avata, and I did it because it makes it much stronger, doesn't have that flip anymore, and it flies more similarly to the DJI FPV, so it's much stronger, much faster, and also a little bit quieter. It isn't as like that screeching noise. It's still pretty loud, but it's a little bit of a different pitch, making it a little bit more subtle than the stock Avata. Makes it much faster, much better for flying, much more nimble. So it's like a best of both worlds. I would say it's feeling like it's a FPV and Avata, and then this is something in between. So if you're interested in this, and if you would like to know more about the DJI FPV with the Axis flying mod, I'm gonna have that video in the top right corner of the screen right now for you to check out if maybe this is something that you'll be interested in. And you can actually put an action camera on top of it, but I still don't use it. I still feel like this camera is more than enough for me with the ND filters and to use it that way. And thanks to this, I still have the whole setup with the goggles. Everything is still flying as it would with the traditional DJI Avata. So in short, I feel like the DJI Avata is still incredible in 2025. And even though there is different drones that could be competing with it, and we had the DJI Neo, it isn't anywhere close to as good as the Avata. So in my opinion, the DJI Avata still is one of the best FPV drones from DJI, and it's still a viable option in 2025, unless they really introduce something really new and groundbreaking. I feel like they should do a DJI FPV 2 and have that be a little bit smaller, lighter, but being faster and stronger than the Avata series of drones. That would be incredible, but you know, we can all wish. But for now, I'm gonna stay with the DJI Avata, especially with this Axis flying mod. If you have any more questions about the DJI Avata, let me know in the comments section down below. If you're enjoying the music in this video, check out the links down below. I always link up all the music I use in my videos. So if you're interested in content creation and want copyright-free music, check out the links down below. With that being said, that is gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.